Hello everyone, name is Phantom, jack of all trades and master of none. Well, since the holiday seasons are around us, you might be thinking, should I get Super Mario RPG and Persona 5 Tactica for Christmas? Well, here's my basic review of them. First, starting with Super Mario RPG, and I know there are people who like having the physical game, so here's the front, here's the back, and inside there's a whole map of the entire of everything of every place you'll go to during the end the game. And also here's the physical game cartridge. Now, I have never played the original Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I wasn't alive during so I couldn't play it. Even when I tried an emulator, I couldn't find a good enough one. And you might complain about the whole box art not being compared, not comparing to the original SNES one, but this one's actually a reference to the original Japanese box art, so take that into consideration. Now, as someone who's sort of unbiased to the original, that I really enjoyed the game. I mean, I've seen gameplay of the original, and it's basically just the same thing, just a bit cleaned up. And the major change is basically this new attack gauge thing you have, where if you could perform correct time hits and block hits at the correctly, then you will fill this gauge that's in the corner. You've seen the trailers, and basically once the gauge is filled, at first, if you only have two party members at the beginning, Mario and Mallow, then it would just have Toad assist. But later on, once you get Gino added to your party, then Peach and Bowser, then depending on your sort of formation, then basically you can have different attacks. I won't say the attack names because it's spoilers, but basically, you basically have attack one an attack that hits one person, good for boss fights. An attack that hits all people on the battle attack all enemies on the battlefield, good for just like regular encounters. A party wide heal, that's good if it's a really tough boss fight. And also a sort of defensive shield one. That one I never really used. So anyway, otherwise it's basically the exact same story, but afterwards, post game content, you can refight all the bosses, and let's just say I haven't gotten that far. I've only beaten one because the others, oh boy, they can deal a lot of damage. Like, yeah, that trailer where they showed 999 damage, it was not joking. Let's see what else. Mm. You can switch between the original music and the remix music, so you can still hear that original in the forest maze. And again, haven't played the original, so maybe there was some dialogue changes. The major one that I know of is they got rid of that Bruce Lee line. But other than that, yeah, it's a really good game. If you want to get into RPGs, then yeah, give it a shot. And if you're a fan of the original, still give it a shot. But if you're not a fan of RPGs, maybe don't buy it. But like, ask a friend who did buy it. Like maybe if you could play it for a short while. Let's see. I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that for me personally is not a fault of the game is they still have that really annoying 100 super jumps thing you gotta do to get the best armor in the game for Mario. And again, this was just a me thing. I had a really hard time coordinating the buttons to defend and attack. Yeah. And one last thing when it comes to defending, some attacks you can't defend, so you just gotta tank the damage. And the other one, Persona 5 Tactica. Here is the front cover, the back cover, and there's there's no inside, sadly. So there's no ins, and here is the cartridge. Now, as coming from someone who has never played any sort of tactics, strategy based RPG, is it a good beginner one? I think so. It's very, from what I heard online, it's very inspired by Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles. So, if you enjoy that game and you enjoy Persona, give it a try. Let's see. But here's the most important thing: should you get the DLC? In my opinion, depends. There's currently there's 3 DLCs available: Repaint Your Heart with Akechi and Kasumi, the Weapons Pack DLC, and the Persona Pack DLC. In my opinion, the Persona Pack DLC, don't get it. It's not worth it, because unlike the original Persona 5, where you get like awesome attacks like the famous by the myriad truths. You don't have that in Persona 5 Tactica. Some of the skills are just, they don't have the original skills or unique skills. So don't get the Persona DLC. Don't be like me. The Weapons Pack DLC, I say get it, because those guns really carry me throughout the entire game. Yes, they're guns, because in this game you don't get any kind of, knife, whip, whatever Ryuji uses. You don't have that. The only weapons you can equip are guns. And those ones, they don't just like reskin it. They're actually really good. And as for the Repaint Your Heart DLC, I enjoyed it. I don't know if you would enjoy, but I mean, it gives us more Akechi and Kasumi screen time, or Sumeri. So, yeah, I think it's pretty good. But anyway, let's talk about the story. Is basically, again, this will be my non-spoiler review for the story. Later on I'll have a spoilers section. All right then. For non-spoilers, basically, you're in LeBlanc. Then there's this, and you hear on the news a prime minister has been missing for a while. Then all of a sudden, everything starts to shake. There's a mysterious door. You all decide to walk through it, and boom, you're in another world. There's this evil dictator, and so rebel against her. That's basically the story. You're trying to get back home with the party with the Phantom Thieves, and as you can see, right there, the future prime minister. And as you saw all of the trailers, you have a new member, Arena, right there. She's basically the new sort of Phantom Thief to join the group, as they have in every single spin-off. Well, except dancing, but So anyway, it's again as before, tactics-based game. You just move around in squares, either hiding behind cover so you don't get attacked, or attacking an enemy, either ranged or close. For me, the main appeal was, again, it's a Persona game. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the Persona series for a while. And in this tactics-based game, you could have personas. Keep in mind, Joker in the game isn't a wild card. He can only have Arsene and a sub persona, and basically, and that includes everyone, except arena. She cannot have a persona. So the entire Phantom Days could have a sub persona, but it's not what you think. It's not like in Persona. It's not like in Persona Q and Q2, where they can like switch between that persona and the sub persona. In this game, they're stuck with their initial persona, and you could equip them with an additional persona that only has two skills, and they can switch it. It sort of just adds it just adds those two skills to their initial persona, and also adds their sort of HP and SP attack to it. Let's see what else is there. Let's see. Other than that, oh, they also have. I don't know if it's in other Tactics games. Again, this was my first. With their personas, they could inflict ailments. For example, Yusuke freezes. That's obvious. Joker despairs. On burns. Here are the important ones. When on burning could push back a foe, as well as Morgana using his wind command can knock back a foe. Here's the other two that are important. Haru with her psi skills could sort of pull in foes to a certain location, which is really good. It really helped me out a lot. And Makoto with her nuke skills sort of like creates a vortex that pulls in foes in a specific area. Now, on to spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers, then go to the time. Go to the time I'll leave in the description, or if I could try to edit something in. Okay. Spoilers. All right then. The current spoilers. So far, to my knowledge, you don't get anything for completing all the 3-star missions. Again, if I'm wrong, just leave it in the description. I'll leave it in the description, or they can tell me in the comments. I just wish there was more of a variety to the missions, because every single, well, not missions, but the 3 stars. Every single 3-star is always the same. It's completed. That's obviously. Don't let anyone get KO'd, and a variety or a different version of basically, hey yo, completed in this many turns. Always the same throughout every single mission. And I mean, sometimes there's a bit of variety, like, oh, get here in this many turns, but it's usually just always the same. Let's see. And again, I've sort of predicted just based on completing the first kingdom. Yes, they're called kingdoms, and there's 4 of them. So let's see. Because of the sort of art style, it's heavily inspired by the Q, and Q2, and again, spoilers for Q and Q2, I guess, also in the spoiler section. In that game, the dungeons were created by the sort of new character in the game. And well, as you can see, new character in this game, Toshiro. Then that's the name of the Prime Minister. Well, future Prime Minister. And well, I predicted around the end of the first kingdom that, hey yo, this must be each of these kingdoms will be like a reflection of Toshiro's whatever he went through, and I was right. Yeah, so there's on yeah. So the first 2 kingdoms are based heavily on like a rebellion. Like the first one is basically the French Revolution. The second one, I can't remember. I think someone else said it, but I can't remember which one is it. But around the Third Kingdom is just school rebellion. Yeah, be prepared. After the Second Kingdom, it's way more story heavy than the first 2. So yeah. But also around the third key also around at the end of the Third Kingdom, Toshiro joins your party. Now you may be wondering, oh, but you already have 3 party members. Here's the thing: Toshiro is a guest party member, so you can now have Toshiro will always is basically locked in. You cannot switch him out. The other three you could switch in and out. So basically, you're back to your classic four party members from every other Persona game. Well, except Persona 1 and 2. Yeah, so let me talk about Toshiro and his sort of persona. I mean, I understand why he didn't get a Phantom Thief outfit, but I mean, come on. I mean, Sophie sort of got one. I mean, from Persona 5 Strikers, Sophie got one. And also, spoilers for Persona 5 Strikers. I mean, Zenkichi got one, and he's an adult, so why didn't Toshiro get one? But other than that, I really liked the story. Alright then. The story, I enjoyed it. I mean, up until around like maybe the very final boss, but again, spoilers. Around so basically the story, this is my spoiler heavy section, so again, around the basically again, like as I said before, every ruler of the kingdom is supposed to represent someone in Toshiro's life. The first kingdom is his abusive fiance. The second kingdom, his abusive father. The third kingdom, an evil teacher that was controlling the school. That's about it. The fourth kingdom is basically just the standard final dungeon of a Persona game. God, the God is here. Now the story for each kingdom, if I had to rank them in the order I enjoyed it, I'll say first kingdom is the second. I really enjoy it. Will be the second kingdom. Then number two would be the third king. Then number two would be the first kingdom. Number three, the fourth kingdom, and number four, the third kingdom. However, gameplay wise, it's entirely different. Gameplay wise, I really enjoyed the fourth kingdom. Then it would be the first kingdom, then the second kingdom, and then the fourth, and then the first kingdom. So yeah, hey, hey everyone, welcome back. Here's my back to non spoilers. Hmm. So yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It, if you don't enjoy tactics games, give it a try. I mean, I did maybe ask a friend and not buy it because oh god, it was really expensive. It was oh god. But if you do enjoy tactics games and enjoy Persona 5, get it. I recommend it. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Those 2 points are the standard, Atlas Day 1 DLC thing. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my review for both Super Mario RPG and Persona 5 Tactica. Bye.